Alright, in this video I'll explain and show you how to restore these types of old classic machines, whether they are very detailed, lacking paint, or have a lot of acid on their parts. I'll show you how to remove all that acid, lubricate them, and give them complete maintenance. And also how to paint it so the machine looks perfect, fully functional, painted, restored, and ready to use for sewing. We'll need a spray. We can use gasoline or diesel fuel, as well as a fuel, a small brush to clean and remove lint, a smaller brush to get into those deep parts where the larger brush can't reach. We have a lubricant that we'll apply after using the gasoline, a lubricant to lubricate all its parts. And then the oil that we need to lastly lubricate the parts to make them functional, and the metal polish, which is responsible for making all the metal parts that look very dull shiny again. With the metal polish, we'll leave them like new, and finally the spray paint. Now let's start to disassemble. I'll show you which parts we need to take apart and start doing it. Cleaning with gasoline to remove all the rust and moisture. That's the first thing we need to do. Let's remove the front cover of the machine. It only has one screw, which we just need to loosen a bit. We don't need to take it out completely. We lift the cover slightly and take it off. We'll remove the presser foot by lifting it up and leaving the screw in place. Then we'll remove it along with the screw. We take off the metal cover. We'll also clean the metal ridge. Then remove the needle plate, leaving the screws in place. And take out the feed dogs of the machine. We'll remove the hook, the bobbin case, take them all out. Remember to keep the screws with their respective parts so we don't have any issues with the screws later. Now we remove this part, which just requires loosening the screw and this one. Then we take the part out. After that, we loosen the screws, loosen this one, and remove it completely. We remove the part, turn it around, and take it out. Now we're going to remove the whole flywheel. Let's loosen this screw. We take out the screw, hold the large flywheel, and turn the small one until it comes off completely. We remove the small flywheel. The large one goes here and comes off easily. After removing it, we loosen these two screws and take out the whole piece. Now that we have taken down all the shiny parts, we clean them piece by piece to make them shine. Let's start lubricating with gasoline. Then we use this small brush to reach internal parts and remove dirt. We will also use the brush to remove lint, grime, and everything else. Finally, we'll use a cloth to finish cleaning and remove dirt and rust along with the gasoline. We need to do this to the whole machine. We clean part by part until it's completely clean, then move on. Part by part, internal parts, underneath, behind, until everything is spotless. Only then do we continue. After applying gasoline to the whole machine, it often turns white. Once we've done all this with the brush, the small brush and the cloth, and removed all the dirt and rust, we use lubricant that also removes rust and moisture. We spray it on all parts we move the flywheel so the liquid gets into all parts. With this lubricant, we're going to lubricate the entire machine, the bottom parts, the internal needle bar parts, and the exterior, everywhere. We keep turning the flywheel so the liquid reaches all pieces. After doing this, it will also help remove rust and moisture. Once the machine is fogged up, fully lubricated with this liquid, we'll take a cloth again and start cleaning, drying both the liquid and the rust that it helps remove. Remember, we should do this to the entire machine. After applying the lubricant, drying with the cloth, we then proceed to the parts where rust remains that couldn't be removed. We'll use the metal polish on the metallic parts, the parts we want to restore the color to, that we want to make shine. Remember, this is metal polish. It shines all metallic parts. Use a little sponge with your finger, a cloth, and for all the metallic parts we want to make shine, use a little sponge and work on removing all the rusty areas. Remember to use it on parts where we only want to restore the color, metallic parts that we want to make shine. Here we can see how the metal polish works. The metallic pieces should come out shiny, looking like new. If you see there's still rust and the Brilla metal isn't removing it, lightly sand it with number 500 or 450. Grit sandpaper to remove the rust. Then use Brilla metal again. After doing all that, we are now going to cover the parts. We'll use masking tape. We'll cover the parts that might get paint on them, and we can't allow that since the machine could jam. The stitch selector and the area around the wheel. First, we'll start painting the entire upper part, and then we'll paint the bottom part too. You might need a thick piece of notebook paper for this. For example, you can place it here, almost spray the paint, and this will prevent it from reaching the internal mechanisms. We start from the top to the bottom, focusing on this tricky spot first. There are internal mechanisms here, so we'll put this piece here and spray paint on this part. This will keep it from reaching the internal mechanisms. Remember, the machine must be completely clean before you start painting. Use a cloth or something that doesn't leave any residue, as residue can make the paint uneven, leaving debris under the paint. Make sure to wipe it down before starting. Shake the paint for a few seconds. Each time you apply the paint, do it consistently. When you stop, shake it again. Keep a moderate distance when spraying. If you do it too close, the paint will drip. Spray from a bit further away for an even coat without drips. Well friends, here's our machine all painted and fully restored. All the rust and dirt have been removed and it looks like new again. The metallic parts are shiny with Brilla metal and look brand new despite being completely rusted before. Here's the wheel area. The machine is fully functional and the wheel was painted along with the small wheel. Likewise, this piece was also polished. We painted behind it. And this piece that was also full of rust, we replaced the tensioner. Nianake added the pull spring and I'll show you how. after the machine is like this, we need to lubricate its parts. 2 drops in each part to lubricate, and then we can start sewing with the machine again. We see 2 holes at the top. In each hole, in this part, we will put 2 drops of oil. Here, this part also has a hole next to where we place the thread. Again, we add 2 drops. Once again, 2 drops in this hole. And here where the hand wheel is, now with our machine, we are going to turn it to the back. We can open this part, lift it a little, and in the internal mechanisms, we can add more than 2 drops of oil. We tighten the screw again, and in this part, you see, we can also add it without any problem. Now we will loosen this screw a bit, lift this part up and take it out, and in the pressure bar we will lubricate the spring and the bar itself, then move it. Turn the hand wheel, and similarly 2 drops of oil in the needle bar, top and bottom, and we turn the hand wheel. We will also put 2 drops of oil in the lower internal rod. Put the cover back on, turn the machine over, and we will lubricate it from the bottom. We'll see that in this part there is a hole. We lubricate it with 2 drops here. In this part there is also another little hole. It's for lubricating the hook. 2 drops here as well. And now on this part over here where the axles are, we can add a drop as well. And we turn the wheel so the oil starts filtering too. 2 drops in this part. We turn it around, and now our machine is completely functional, ready to start sewing. Well friends, now for the final test, the moment of truth, to check that our machine is indeed sewing and fully functional. We take out the material and we'll check, and we can see it's perfect. It's sewing super well. The bottom stitch is problem free, and we can see that the machine is perfectly adjusted.